you describe yourself as a multidimensional
artistic individual.
And I got a hi.
Oh wow! I've never. Okay, go ahead. So it's like I have many reflections of myself in different things. Like I'm very capable of doing different things very well when I concentrate on them and hone my skill artistic, and I'm a being, just one person, but I can have different arms in different spaces and places. That's all. See, simple, but that's like complicated. It's like oh okay.
In so deep, comfort me, silence all. You make me feel true,
Now, when you say it took you 3 years to make Aura,
because I scrapped it twice. The first time I was doing Aura, it was supposed to just be an EP. And the producer I was working with at the time, he is my ex.
Okay.
And he was just, I just had to emphasize.
No, I
he just was not getting the groove, you know? Like, what I was looking for was a soulful, but real, like, hitting album where it's like, dang, this is soulful, but the drums hit crazy. And I would write songs like my whole life. I just never got into the space of recording myself. When I stepped into the booth, I heard myself and I sounded trash. It was traumatic. I was 13. I was like, I'm never gonna sing again. It's trash. Because I'm so used to singing live. Right. And when you sing live based on when you sing in a booth, it's different. Like Benji said yesterday, when you sing live, it's more about amplification with the mic. When you sing in a booth, it's more about technique and like all types of stuff. So that I had to go through that experience. I was crying and I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna do it. I kind of just was stuck and I didn't come out with music. I tried to work with different bands and groups and all types of stuff. Came out with singles, performed, and I just wouldn't come out with music. I had this one mixtape I wanted to come out with called Flipping Words, right? Corny, I know. Just wouldn't come out. It just wasn't, I wasn't ready.
Couldn't flip enough words.
Right.
Because there's a requirement. So
you gotta flip the words so that they look like a gymnast.
Yeah.
They was flopping, not flipping. You know? And that's fine. That's the process. So it took a lot of work for me to get to the point where I'm at, where I'm able to just make music from a point of being real and vulnerable and not really conforming. And this is what Aura is. Like, it's just years of me having repressed artistic expression into one project. It's wild. And I love the project.
So Urel is
the main music producer.
Right. But Urel's not that's not.
No.
Okay. All right.
No. I hit up Urel after the fact and was like, bro, we need to do this project together. Like, I can, because he sent me what I have as my intro, which is called Aura. And I was sitting with it. I was like, yo, I need to chop this up. And then I was listening to it. I was like, this is the project. Like, this literally ties my whole project together. It went from originally just being a 6-track project to 15. So, yeah, that's kind of the story. Verbatim, it was like, it started here, got cut off, scrapped it, hit up Urel was with it, boom.
Yeah, Bilal doing engineering.
Yeah, he's mixing, and it's really awesome because the ideas, basically like the direction for the album, the creative direction, and like how I visualize the album, I have to be able to do it with someone that I can clearly communicate with, because I tend to be very colorful.
Yeah.
It's like too many words and too many options for me, so I have to like have someone that's patient. Because man, I've been wanting a lot. But I'm simple. I'm just a little complicated.
One more time.
I'm simple,
Yeah.
but a little complicated. Any more herbal?
Yeah, I wrote one.
Sin so deep, comfort me, silence all around. You make me prove them true,
In this current time and space, music consumption
Yeah.
is very high. How do you feel about, you know, can you wait another 3 years, or do you feel like you're in a space where
I'm now, that's why I'm like, I'm glad that I waited.
Mm-hmm.
Because now that I have a complete feel of who I am as a person and an artist, once this project comes out, it's literally like what Aura is the hammer that's gonna break the dam.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a lot of music. Like I'm not gonna stop. That's how I feel. Like I'm already thinking of another project called 29 that I plan to come out with right before my birthday.
Right.
It's gonna be hard. But also I don't really feel like I have to put things out to the same degree as other artists because of the content and the sound I have.
Tell me how you balance being a musician, like being a singer, with being an artist. So with the painting, is it an either or thing where if you're in a particular groove with writing, then the painting kind of slows down, or is it? Yeah. How do you balance that out, or do you kind of just?
I don't.
You don't.
I honestly love painting, right? Painting is cool. But I look at painting like when I'm in I've always looked at drawing or my art in general when I'm just in a certain space of collecting information to make music. So right now I'm like, I've already done that for a year. Like I really started doing painting again in like 2016 with Canvas of Words and stuff. Shout out to Fu. But then at that time, I was already collecting so much material from just going through different things. And I was just like, it's time to make some music. So I was just writing and it just slowed down.
Are there any other artistic mediums that you go through, or is it just painting?
I would technically say like event planning, event coordination, or curating, I guess.
Right.
I basically like to create events and environments for artists to be seen and known under something that helps them be able to express their artistry and their business in a way that they're actually heard and seen. Wow. So that's where we came up with like Writings on the Wall, Bounce House, and Shampoo. But that's an art form to me. I love art, but I'm in love with music. Always have been, always will be.
Who's the first artist that made you feel as though
I'm sorry.
It's time for me to start. It's time for me to start writing.
Ooh, I've never been asked that before.
I try.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. The first artist I heard that made me feel like I need to start like songwriting definitely would be Erykah Badu.
Yeah.
On and On is still slept on to me.
Just as far as lyrically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cause it's so catchy and it's so like, just like this, that people aren't really listening to what she's saying at all in the whole album for real. Mm-hmm. That Baduism album was like, wow, I love this album. I need to hear it again and again and again.
When you talk about someone who's capable of kind of dealing with all of these elements, where you might have a little bit of jazz, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of, you know, when you're talking about somebody like that, then the first person that's going to come to mind is Erykah Badu, especially when you talk about singing. So I
love her, man. That when I heard that song, I just was sitting like, She said, "Oh my, I'm feeling high," and it's so like grounding, and you relate. And then all of a sudden, she's just like giving you all this knowledge, and you're just like, "Yeah, yeah." Peace and blessings manifest with every lesson learned. That's very true.
It's so deep, comfort me, silence all around. You make me feel real true, silence all around.
Being a woman and being an artist, you know, like how does that play into, I guess, your development as far as becoming comfortable with like your space? Because you talk about like you're very self-critical of yourself and things like that.
There was a lot of times I would avoid doing things like jazzy or that was influenced by soul because I was afraid that my content would be typecasted by the sound that I was making. So once I got rid of that, and also once I embraced that, that's what helped me direct my sound. And just, I listen to all types of music. My mom used to buy records and just like listen to America. We used to listen to the Eagles. We used to listen to Average White Band, like not Ron Isley. That's the young people saying. That's, my mom used to say, don't say Ron Isley, say the Isley Brothers. Like, okay, Isley Brothers. Like a spectrum of just people that do fusion art, like fusion jazz and stuff. So I was influenced by that. My ex.
Okay. How has that kind of shaped your music? Because you were in a relationship with a producer. So like, how does that dynamic work? Do you feel as though you've taken anything from that, or is it all just out the window?
Any connection I've had in my life, I feel like I've taken and left things. So, both have the same type of influence. But in my music, I will definitely say it did help me with figuring out that the only way for me to make music is the only way for me to make the music that I like is to do it for myself, is what I learned. Because getting validation from, and when I say relationship, I'm gonna say like not just like lover relationship, but like family and friends, and like getting validation from the people that are close to you all the time isn't always an occurrence. It felt like if I was truly myself, it would cause like a lot of things to fall off that I wasn't ready for, like family, friends, certain situations. It was just like, I want to balance these two things, but I had to learn to let go of a lot so I could really like create more for myself and things that really align with me. Like I had to go through like a real strenuous development process naturally with life before coming out with anything, so I'm very happy about that. But the relationship that I had previously, what I learned from that was to basically always listen to that instinct of what you want, and to really like take your time in a healthy way. And it was just a time where I just felt myself being in a place of feeling almost like confined and trapped, and also realizing that it was because I was allowing a lot of things. And being a woman, sometimes like in situations we're taught to be very polite and nice and to accept and allow certain things that most men wouldn't. So I noticed that I did that to a point that I got to that point, and I just literally let it all drop. I just dropped it, like. And when I did that, I started to do different actions and behaviors to align with that. Meaning, I started to just stop myself from thinking about other people's perspectives on how they thought I should be, or how they thought I was when they saw me in the past or whatever. And just allowed myself the luxury of being myself. Like, telling myself affirmations, not comparing myself to other women, not seeking validation via attention in a sense, because everyone does that no matter what gender you are. Because a lot of times, sometimes people will try to like structure you or like not cookie cutter you, but they'll definitely try to fit you into it a little bit. And I felt like that was kind of happening, but now it's like it's all me and I'm so happy. Like, it's the project I always wanted, so I'm very happy with it.
Making moves like chess, I'm feeling blessed. Last year was so reckless, so many checks. I tried to repress it, but kept on stressing. Triggering my depression, I chief the rest. I just wish you were here